Yo, guess what? It's meal prep time. This recipe was originally pork spare ribs, but I wanted it to be chicken, and it's not ribs. It's chicken leg and thigh, so, details. First, let's prepare our onion. If you haven't skinned it yet, go ahead and skin it, then cut off the tip. With the flat side on board, cut the onion into halves. From there, you're gonna want to make strips from the root to the tip, like so. Cut it this way for smaller slices. Pause. If you're clumsy with a knife, or this is your first time doing this kind of technique, please don't do it. This is not a requirement, but if you want your onion bits to be smaller, this is the way to do it. Moving on. Cut the line sideways, and now you get a dice. Make sure to tuck your fingers in so that you don't cut them, and make sure your knife is sharp too. Remember, a dull knife is a dangerous knife. But isn't a sharp knife dangerous too? Yeah, shut up. A dull knife is even more so than a sharp knife. Think of it this way. You're gonna need to put a little bit more force into the knife when you're cutting with a dull knife. And when that slips and it falls onto your fingers, it's game over. Get what I mean? Apply the same technique to the other side of the onion. Remember, practice makes perfect. So keep practicing your knife skills. I'm gonna transfer the onion to a bowl. And in French, that's called mise en place. Or putting things in the right place. Next ingredient is garlic. Press the garlic down using the back end of your knife. Again, for people at the back end of your knife is the strongest part, so it makes it less likely to deform. Especially if you're using a thin Japanese-style knife like me. With your fingers tucked in, roughly chop the garlic. Or gently, whatever you're into. But for me, anong gentle. Once done, hold the tip of your knife like so, then chop the garlic. The hand holding the tip serves as a guide as you mince it up. Mise en place, baby. Next, the capsicum, or better known as the bell pepper. With the stem side down, cut a thin piece of the vegetable like so. Doing it this way makes it less messy since the seeds don't go all over the place. You can then throw away the seeds. I don't care. Optional, but you can cut away the white bits. Apparently that part is bitter. Pero mas bitter pa rin yung love life mo. I'm so fucking cringe. Anyway, you go do you. Now cut the bell peppers into long strips like so. Then cut them into cubes to make them a bit more manageable. Now do all of that again, but in green. Lastly, the ginger. I was too lazy to peel this thing with a spoon, so for today, I'll just slice off the skin. Sure, there is a more efficient way to do this, but I really cannot be bothered. And my camera also didn't capture the peeling, so you're just gonna have to imagine. At this point, you're gonna wanna cut them into thin slices like so. Then cut them long ways. Then finally dice them. Now we're done with the vegetables, we're gonna switch to another knife. Since we are dealing with bones now, I'm gonna switch to this thicker Japanese knife that I bought from my crush, and wow, why did I mention that? That's crazy. Anyway, first you can do this chiropractor thing on this chicken leg, then feel for the soft part of the joint, then cut that John to separate the leg from the thigh. I'll do that a few more times for the rest of the chicken. I'm not gonna show that anymore. You got this. Next is the sauce. I'm gonna go over them one by one quickly, but if you need to slow it down, I'm putting the recipe in the description. You ready? Here we go. 1 tablespoon of cooking wine, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, 1 tablespoon of hot pot base, but I didn't have that, so I used chicken powder instead. 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1/2 cup of water. I didn't have a cup, so I literally used half of a cup for that. And that's it. Mix it up with a whisk, and your sauce is finished. To be truthful, you don't really need a whisk for this. I just like to flex. So if you don't have a whisk, it's fine. Again, if you need to slow it down, I put the recipe in the description. Alrighty, pan time. So the first thing that we're going to do is to render the fat. So put the chicken skin side down on a piping hot pan. After that, you're gonna wanna flip them over and they should be browned like so. Once you feel that the other side is also brown, remove them from the pan. See folks, we didn't even need to put cooking oil on that thing. Chicken oil din yan pare. The only thing missing is the achuete. Bell peppers in. Give it a light toss, then add in the onions. The reason why we're putting the bell peppers and onions first is because they're slightly thicker and they take a bit more time to cook. But there's always a time and place for garlic first. Garlic and ginger in. If you want a bit more toasty flavor on your garlic, you put them in first. If you want a stronger garlicky flavor, you put them in last. Sauce in next. Remember to keep the pan piping hot so that the alcohol from the cooking wine would burn off slightly. Give it a moment to boil, then mix things up so that the flavors would mingle with each other. Lastly, put in the chicken and let it boil for 30 to 45 minutes. This will make sure that the chicken is cooked all the way through and is tender. And oh yeah, you need it covered for that. After maybe 20 minutes or so, you're gonna wanna open it and flip over the chicken so that it cooks both sides. Like so. Then cook it for another 20 or 25 minutes and it should be done. Give that thing a last tasting and adjust flavors if needed. If it's a little bland, add a bit more salt and pepper as well. And this wouldn't be a fitness episode if we didn't have this. That's right, macros. With a serving size of 200 grams, this thing can serve 5 with 332 calories per serving and 13.5 grams of protein. Since I'm gonna have this with rice, this will total up to maybe around 450 calories or so. So yeah, not bad. Thanks for tuning in. Leave a like if you like this video and comment what dish I should do next. Subscribe for more content and I'll see you all next time. Peace!